TimeEnds Radio. Dude, thanks for doing this. This is awesome. So I've been following your Instagram. I mean, we met under a specific circumstance, but like, how long have you been playing guitar? Number one.
I've been playing guitar for about 18 years, 19 years.
Yeah, what got you into wanting to play guitar and versus other instruments?
I originally got into playing the keyboard maybe around age 6, 7, and I got an acoustic guitar shortly after that, and I was taking lessons, and I almost immediately switched over to guitar lessons because my teacher taught both, and it just took me by surprise. And then a couple years after that, I got into drums as well, so drums and guitar have kind of been what stuck with me, but I'm into playing keys as well. But guitar has been kind of something that I've really gotten back into maybe the past 2-3 years.
So what is your main instrument? It's keys?
I would say at this point it's keys and drums, with guitar is like a solid third.
Oh, dude. You know what? Like you the way you play, you seem like you've been playing for years. So you definitely picked it up well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I just started learning theory. Everything's been by ear up until about not even a year ago.
Wow. That's incredible. Okay. And you're also into films, right?
Yeah, and I teach film at Inclusion Films Bakersfield. I've been doing that for a little over 7 years now. So I'm a cinematographer, and I do a lot of lighting as well.
I did not know that you taught there. I thought you worked with Joey. Wow, cool.
I've been teaching there since 2013.
Oh, okay, so yeah. I used to teach for Options for All myself. I was the...
San Diego, right?
Yeah, San Diego. I was the audio teacher.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, you recently worked on. I mean, I'm looking at your IMDb, and you have like a shit ton of films you worked on. I mean, which one do you want to like start with? That you're like.
Let's talk about Carol with the Bells.
All right.
That was a career height for me for sure. Directed by Joey Travolta and featuring a pretty sizable amount of crew from my program in Bakersfield, but we had I think we had 4 students from San Diego along with Diana, who was the second assistant director.
Mm-hmm.
So that was how I met Diana, and that was an unbelievable opportunity because I got to be the cinematographer on a union feature film, which taught me so much. And the fact that we got to employ a bunch of our students, 70% of the cast and crew had special needs, and it was a dream come true for me. My whole camera crew was my students who I had trained, and it was like the ultimate test for them, and they all just exceeded my expectations, and so that was pretty cool. I'm a firm believer in empowering people who are underrepresented, and I'm a huge believer in employing people on the autism spectrum, because they're some of the best employees you could ever have, and I've loved every minute of the past 7+ years I've been able to teach and be a part of the inclusion program.
That's awesome, dude. Now, you said they were your students or former students?
They were all current students at the time.
How was the energy, and how was it dealing with them on set for a union gig versus doing student films?
It was kind of a step up because we do a short thesis film every semester. Typically, it's kind of changed since COVID, but up until then, it's been every semester 10 to 20 minute short film that we pretty much crewed exclusively from our school, and I'm usually the cinematographer on, and I'll kind of oversee the whole production side of things. And it's on a feature film set where we have a grip truck and we have call sheets going out every day, and it was pretty much as professional as you could get. It was really a first for most of them, so there was definitely some pressure, and there were some times when I had to also kind of step away from my creative, because you know when you're on set or when you're working on a creative project, it's really easy to kind of do
Yeah.
this. And it was the first time I've ever had to be in an environment where I was cinematographer on and had a lot of responsibilities on. We shot a feature film in 12 days. We had long days. We had a lot of stuff to strategically shoot
Wow.
and stuff in order to make our days and whatnot. And there were times I had to step away and kind of, I don't want to say counsel, but you know, there was some just some tough moments for some of my guys who I was already close with as teacher before that. So it was a challenge for me, I guess, for my patience in some ways, and how to be creative when also being compassionate, I guess, which is something that I'm still learning. Um, but that was one of the more rewarding parts of it as well, I think.
Wow. So you guys shot in 12 days?
12 days. We shot principal photography in 12 days, and then we had one extra day after the opening scene of the movie is like a flashbacks, and it's an entirely different cast, so we did that separately. But principal was 12 days, and that was all in
Damn.
Bakersfield.
Jeez, that's crunch time. Oh man. How many people were on set?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably 50 to 70.
Wow. And
It's
it's
a pretty
on
sizable crew.
and you said it was all in Bakersfield. So was it like in multiple locations or was it in a lot or how'd you guys
It
set it
was
up?
we had one house that we shot a total of, I think, 6.5 days at that location, because a lot of the movie took place in the main family's house. So that was that. And then we had another house. We had an auto shop for one whole day. We shot in a sports arena. We shot in a cafe. In Bakersfield, it's unbelievable what you can get for cheap in terms of locations. Kern County is really lenient with film permits. They actually don't charge for them as long as it's kind of a legitimate operation. So you can get just production value that you couldn't get in anywhere in the Los Angeles area or Orange County.
Wow.
So it was cool to be able to bring everyone up there and house everyone for 2 weeks. Yeah, I can't wait to do the next one.
Nice. Nice.
Hopefully.
I don't know if I can say stuff, but yeah, the next one would be cool. So you're currently filming something called Chasing Happy. What is that? Chasing Happy.
Okay, that's actually something that I worked on about 5 years ago, and I think it still shows on IMDb as in production, but it's not something I'm currently working on. It was a documentary that a good friend of mine named Tracy is directing, and it was kind of one of those things that started and then it just never got finished. But
It happens. So was
yeah,
it shelved or it's still being worked on?
shelved as far as I know. But
Oh, okay.
hopefully there's something in the future. It was a documentary about depression and anxiety, which something I'm really passionate about as well. So I hope it gets made someday.
Is it okay if I ask you about the other film you're working on?
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, tell
Yeah.
us about it. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I follow it and I'm very because I'm in the mental health field myself. I mean,
Mhm.
we do the same thing. So tell me more about the film you're working on. Are you working? Is it like your project? Or are you working with someone? Or
I'm very closely working on it. It's not my project directly, but it's a film called Anxious Nation. It's a feature documentary that I'm the cinematographer on. And I got to go travel on the East Coast for about 2 weeks back in September with the executive producer and the director, and we shot a series of interviews with young adults and teenagers who are all battling various forms of mental. I don't want to say mental illness. That's a word I don't like to use. Anxiety is kind of the center point of it, but everyone's kind of got, as you know, everyone's got their own struggle, and so we kind of interview these people, and it's interesting to see how a lot of people have common similarities when it comes to a lot of anxieties and stuff like that. But we started in North Carolina and we went all the way up the East Coast, Washington D.C., New York City, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and we talked to a lot of people. So that's hopefully coming out later this year.
wow,
We're hoping for Netflix, Amazon Prime, something like that. But it's got some names in it. We interviewed a lot of big doctors um, who are experts on that. So I'm hoping it'll get a lot of recognition when it comes out. But it was awesome to work on, and it's still an ongoing thing. We've shot some pickups for it. I was actually down in San Diego working on it recently because that's where the executive producer lives in Cardiff. So we were shooting down there, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. I really hope it does.
Yeah, I love documentaries that shows what most people don't know about. I mean, like everyone hears about anxiety, but I mean they know the definition of it. They don't know what it really entails. Especially with being dual diagnosed and having anxiety and and that
Absolutely.
also and that triggers other symptoms and other things that people will experience. So I think it's a great thing. It's very educational, and I hope people really watch it. I mean, once you give me the green light, I'll start pushing it. Whatever I can do to help. I love stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I've it's an incredible thing. So what got you into wanting to do cinematography specifically?
I've always had a passion for. It started with lighting, but lighting and camera. I've always been passionate about making things look cool with a camera, whether it's video or photography. I got my first semi-professional video camera when I was 14, and right away I just started. YouTube was kind of a brand new thing back then. I'm 26, so it was like right when I got into middle school was when that was becoming a thing, and so I started a little YouTube series with some friends, and I was making skate videos. I grew up in Santa Clarita, which is a lot of areas to skateboard, so I did a lot of skate videos and stuff, and that was what got me started with it, and I was just passionate about it. I got to intern with ABC News for a while, and I started doing wedding videos kind of as my first way to make money when I was still in high school, and shooting weddings with the way camera technology is developed over the past. It's been about 12 years now with DSLR cameras being able to shoot video. It's
Mm-hmm.
allowed people to get really cinematic video without having to spend $35,000 on a gigantic cinema camera. So I got into shooting weddings right when they were getting really cinematic and not so cheesy. And that taught me so much about how to shoot a movie, because you're constantly having to adapt to where people are. You're having to focus on people running around and drunk people at receptions and people dancing. And I always recommend, if anyone wants to get into that shooting weddings is like getting dropped into the fire. It's a great way. And on top of that, it's a great way to make money. So that's what got me into it, and I worked with some great people that mentored me into working on doing stuff like commercials, and I was able to do a couple smaller film projects with some friends, and then I got started with Inclusion Films in 2013, which has allowed me to continue to work on cinema projects while being able to take some side jobs as well, but being able to stay in that environment and teach it and kind of recount experiences. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity, that continued opportunity.
That's cool. So you've been with them since 2013.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So
There was,
so go ahead.
I was going to say there was a year or so that I wasn't teaching. I was still involved with working with Joey, but I wasn't teaching from 2015 to 2016. But before that time, and then from that time since all the way to now, I've been teaching full
You
time.
guys are doing the online platform as well.
Yeah, since March 16th, we've been online.
How'd they take it? Was it a
It's
struggle?
well, we're almost a year now at this point, and it's hard for a lot of our students because it's hard to stare at a computer for hours a day. Um,
Yeah.
so I certainly feel the same at times. But we're doing a lot of home projects that have encouraged everyone to stay creative, and it's actually been really good in a lot of ways, just because it gives you a lot of opportunities to do things you don't get to do in a classroom sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like to teach a lot of sound stuff, and I also teach music every Friday with the school. And before Zoom, I was having to lug a bunch of crap to the studio to teach stuff. I'd bring a drum set or a couple guitars and an amp. And one
Ugh.
time I brought a Leslie speaker for a
Oh,
Hammond organ. That stuff's heavy.
yeah.
So I'm more than happy to teach from here. And teaching sound stuff, it's kind of cool because when you're in a classroom and you have speakers on and you're trying to teach what a lav versus a shotgun mic sounds like or something, you get all this feedback, and On here, I can just hook it up directly, and they can only hear me through that. So it's given us some different opportunities. I try to look at the positive, but I miss having people in a classroom to do hands-on stuff. I'm used to having them set up multiple lights and have a dolly go through the classroom and have a monitor set up, and we'll set up a whole scene just as a lesson. So
Yeah,
I miss that.
it is hard. I mean, when because because I was teaching audio, we going from the classroom setting, because I did a lot of all right, tear the studio apart, now put it back together. That's what I would
Right.
do. Why are you plugging in that instrument cable into that patch cable? That, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was same thing. It was hard, but in a way, depending on what what class you're teaching, like, you have the advantage with the audio, for example. Just switching microphones, like here I can switch from this microphone to the computer microphone to my Snowball or whatever, and you can actually hear the difference. And they learned more with that versus when everyone was wearing headphones and you're doing the switch, because for some reason, the audio comes a little bit clearer through Zoom. I've noticed.
It does. It's gotten better.
Oh yeah.
Time.
Oh yeah. It sure has. It sure has. I mean, like, when I was doing the podcast and I was forced to do it over Zoom, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But then, just in teaching, I was like, it's a pretty good program. I'm able to record. I mean, I'm recording both of us now simultaneously, on the same screen, and I'm also recording separate audios. I'm recording audio, on my DAW. So it's a great thing. And teaching online kind of opens up a lot of doors, because not only can once you go back into the classroom, you can also still teach online to students that you can't have show up to the classroom.
Exactly.
Which is a cool thing.
Exactly.
I've
also done some on location classes with photography where I've gone out into the mountains and stuff, and just
I was going to ask you
there.
That.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask you that. I used to take them out and say, okay, stare at the freeway. Now just focus on listening to the freeway. They drown out everything else,
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you've done that, because taking them out and, like, focusing on shooting something in motion, or, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, it's been fun.
How long have you been writing music?
Only about 2 years. That's been something that I struggled with for many years, and I finally overcame it. I had been writing stuff that I started and then eventually gave up on because I told myself it wasn't good enough, and I think that's something that most artists go through.
Yeah.
I was doing that exclusively up until maybe 2.5 years ago, and I was living alone, and I didn't have all my gear because I was in the process of moving out of where I was from in Santa Clarita. So I was renting an apartment in Bakersfield and going, like, back and forth. And all I really had was a drum set and my clavinet. And I would just write stuff on that. And I started to get confident enough to get an actual song. I think the first song I maybe posted online was 2.5 years ago. And then a lot of that evolved into my first album, which I released just over a year ago, like a year and 3 days ago. I released this album right here.
Yeah, I'm staring at it.
9 songs.
Is it just on Bandcamp, or can you?
It's on all the platforms. It's on YouTube Music. It's on Spotify, Apple Music. It's everywhere.
So for listeners, they can just type in your name, Andy Ryan, and find you. So the album's called Black and White, and how do you pronounce it? Baco?
Baco, yeah.
Baco.
Short for Bakersfield.
So you guys watching YouTube, you can see that. If you're listening, it's Black and White Baco by Andy Ryan. It says here, I'm looking at your Bandcamp, actually. It says you have 9 tracks, right? So I'm just making sure this. Okay. So you got 9 tracks on here. I recommend you guys listen to it. Buy the album if you can. Just fuck it. Buy the album. It's hey, dude. No, I'm not. Look. I'm not kissing your ass. I mean, I'm from. I'm a New Yorker at heart. I'll tell you if you suck. I dig it, dude. I dig your sound. And It's like when you post a video, I'm not lying. I get like a little schoolgirl. I'm like, oh my god, and I start listening. You know,
Well, I'm
um,
glad you enjoy it.
yeah,
That's my goal, is for people to
yeah.
enjoy my music.
It's
That's what it's
super
about.
cool. And then when you're doing the talk box, I was like, okay, cool, because I have one, and I'm like, I need to start doing that. That inspired me, to start doing the talk box again. I haven't done a talk box in years, dude. I mean, like a decade. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. This guy's doing it, I gotta do it.
I was so grateful that my wife got that for me for Christmas. That was something that I've always wanted to invest in for myself, and I just never did. And it's been so fun. I've been playing around with it a lot. I have it right next to me right now.
You got a setup going. Can you
Uh,
perform live?
yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. I didn't know until I got it that you have to have a microphone next to it. I thought that the sound was synthesized and then it like went back into the unit and when it went to your amp. So I'm not a singer, so I've never had a vocal mic set up with any of my gear, and I don't have a PA system, so I'm kind of figuring that out right now. But I got the Rocktron; it's got a built-in amp on it, so I don't have to have like a separate. I can just plug it in directly to my pedal board in any way I want, and it works great.
You mean it's a the Banshee?
Oh yeah, Banshee. Sorry, Banshee. Yeah, Rocktron Banshee.
Which one? I didn't know I had a built-in speaker.
Let me grab it. Hang on.
Yeah, awesome. And again, guys, you guys can go to Bandcamp or YouTube and just type in Andy Ryan and look for Black and White and Baco.
All right, this is it. I have a looper. So
yeah. Oh, cool.
it can interface to the amp, and then it can either have the talk box signal and it goes to the amp, or you can have it be one or the other. And it has an effects loop.
Wow. I didn't know that. I'm very ignorant with talk boxes. I have the old school. It goes through the tube. Like that's the only way, and it bypasses the amp, or you can have the amp playing. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's really cool. It has a built-in preamp on it that has a really good gain on it, like really good distortion. So when I run guitar or clav through it, or even the organ, when I run the organ through it, it sounds like a synthesizer.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. I just finished recording an EP that it's actually being mixed by my buddy who mixed this one as well.
What's his name?
His name's Slater. His name's Slater Swan, and he has an amazing studio. I'll share a photo with you because I got to go to his studio in Portland, Oregon recently. Back in September or October, I went up there to do the photography for him, and I tracked all my drums and the organ for my EP when I was up there because he got a world-class designer to do all the acoustic treatments, and he's got just amazing gear. And I was really grateful to record there. But I'm recording for the second part of that EP right now, and I'm doing a bunch of talk box on that. So,
are you recording it there at your place?
Yeah. When I did this one, everything was recorded in this room, the drums, everything. But I sent all the stems to Slater, and he mixed it all.
Oh wow.
And so this next one is all the guitar and the keys are recorded here, and then I did organ and drums in Portland.
Let's talk gear. So what brands do you use? I mean, we could talk gear like for years, but like what's your favorite guitar or what's your favorite keyboard? Like,
Okay. Let's
let
start
everybody
with guitar,
know.
and then we'll go to the keys after, because the keyboard thing I'll talk forever on. But for guitar, I just recently got a new guitar, and I think it might be my favorite already. I got a new Telecaster.
Oh, nice.
The American Professional 2, and it's just has a beautiful neck, and it has a great sound to it. So I'm a big Fender fan. My first electric guitar ever was a Strat. And so that's just like my guilty pleasure is a Strat. I have two Strats. I have a Mexican-made one, and I have a Korean-made Squire, and they're just love them.
Nice.
But my baby is my Les Paul. I got this for my 11th birthday, and it is like my prized possession.
Wow. What pickups do you have? Are those Duncans or what?
I recently swapped them out from the stock ones, and it's a Seymour Duncan jazz pickup under the cover, and then I didn't put the cover on this is a JB on the bridge. I didn't put the cover on to make it a little brighter, and Oh, it's a Les Paul Studio 2004.
Nice.
Uh, all the electronics are stock, tuners are stock. It's
Wow.
just my baby.
That's cool, man. I have yet to own a Les. I mean, I have that Les Paul there, but that's an Epiphone that actually belonged to a buddy of mine that passed away. So, I have yet to. I got to get a Les Paul, like a Gibson. Like I thought about getting a studio myself. Just
It's a good guitar.
it is, dude. I mean, I used to work at Guitar Center and I would play it all the time. What was it?
Which Guitar Center?
The one in Santa Clarita, Stevenson Ranch.
Oh, I was there on the opening day. I remember standing in that line.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was there for a while actually.
I'm sure I'm sure we've been in the same room together. Maybe
Yeah.
I bought something from you.
I probably sold you some shit.
I lived across town, but I would always go there. And then now I'm a frequent of Guitar Center Bakersfield. But
How is that
yeah.
store? I've never been
It's
there.
a little bigger. It's
Well,
got a separate drum room, a separate keyboard / pro audio room, and then the guitar selection's a little bit bigger.
yeah.
Most of my guitars I've bought from there actually. That Telecaster I got there.
I mean, if you're comparing it to the shoebox, I mean, of course it's bigger.
It's twice as big.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's
I was
one
at
of the
Guitar
smallest
Center
stores.
Stevenson Ranch. There was a Rhodes keyboard, a Fender Rhodes keyboard that I really wanted to get because it was a really good deal.
You didn't get it? You should have got it.
Didn't get it.
You should have got it.
But I'm a sucker for vintage keyboards. So when it comes to keyboards, I'm all about Hammond organ.
Well, that's the other question. Do you I mean, saying that, I'm happy you said that. Do you prefer vintage over modern, or it really depends what it is?
Well, when it comes to keyboards, the Hammond organ sound is just something I'm really passionate about. I love it. It works as a solo instrument. It sounds great in jazz. It sounds great in rock, blues. I couldn't really think of a genre it wouldn't work in, and I'm really passionate about rebuilding them back to their original specs. I rebuild tube amps and stuff like that. I'm actually building my guitar amp, my new guitar amp right now from scratch. So I'm really into restoring them and keeping vintage stuff from I have 4 Hammonds, and the oldest one's from the 1940s, but
Wow.
the kind of the more desirable ones that have the more common sound are from the 60s and 70s. So I'm really about keeping that stuff alive. And as far as modern goes, there's a lot of modern keyboards that give you essentially the same sound, but when you're really nitpicky, you can notice the difference sometimes. It's kind of like a vintage guitar versus a modern guitar. There's a lot of great things on modern guitars that make them a little bit better, more stable headstocks, better tuners in some cases, but at the same time you lose that vintage sound when you start cheaping out on the wood and Chinese hardware and electronics and stuff like that. Even down to the type of wire they would wind the pickups with on a vintage pickup.
Yeah.
It does make a difference, but at a certain point, what I've learned is you can be picky all you want, and I'm grateful when I have the privilege of being able to be picky, but on a more real note, once you get instruments in a mix, when you have multiple instruments layered together, you stop to notice all the subtle differences. So sometimes for convenience, it's nice to have a modern keyboard that you just turn on and it has different sounds, but at the same time, I don't know, there's something that there's like a lack of soul with a lot of digital keyboards that I've found. And so I respect people that still lug a bunch of heavy, like as far as keyboards go, like a Hammond and a Rhodes keyboard and a grand piano. I still respect that, but it is a lot.
I should introduce you to I worked with him at Guitar Center. He was the customer service manager. His name was Tim Keats.
Mm-hmm.
Insane keyboardist. I mean, he's been playing for like 30 plus years, and he would tell me how you go to gigs and he would like haul a freaking, a baby grand or whatever, I'll introduce you guys. You guys should talk about keyboards. Like he has.
That'd be great.
Yeah, no, he would appreciate everything you're saying, and vice versa. Like him and I would talk keys like probably for like an hour and a half, and then we get in trouble. We'll get back to work, okay?
I know the
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him telling me that when God, he's been playing what 30 years? I don't want to make him too old. 40 years? I don't know. It's a long time. He was telling me that when synth came out, it just made life easier, and he was one of those dudes that no, I won't carry it, but then he learned one day, like, you know what, it's just easier to, if you're going to perform a gig, just to carry one synth that has all your sounds, you know. I'm like that too with like guitar pedals. Like, I've actually been buying vintage pedals cuz they just fucking sound better. It's a fact.
I just got my first one.
A vintage one?
I agree.
Yeah. I sold all of my modern pedals, and I have like pedals from the 70s, you know. What'd you get?
A Morley Power Wah,
No way. What year?
71, I think, or 72.
I have the volume pedal. The Morley
This one
volume
is a
pedal.
volume or a wah. It switches between, and it has a boost in it. And it
That's sick.
just by itself, the boost sounds like a what's the Eric Clapton fuzz, the circle one, the happy face one.
Oh, you know what? I don't remember.
With just the boost enabled, it sounds like one of those. It's amazing. I've already recorded through it. It's killer. And it's like this big. It's huge. But I do have one modern pedal that I'm a sucker for that I got only a few months ago, and it's transformed a lot of my playing, and it's by Walrus, and it's called the Slow. It's a reverb pedal.
I've heard of I haven't played Walrus. I was looking for reverb, and they told me Hall of Fame or Walrus. That's yeah.
Yeah, Hall of Fame's good too, but this one is freaking unbelievable. If you want a reverb pedal, I can't recommend this enough. But
Okay, so
what are some of your favorite pedals? I'm curious what you have.
What I have, I just got fixed. It's Neutron Phase 2 from the 70s.
Those are cool.
Oh, dude, sick. I mean, because I like the vintage sound.
Yeah, those are awesome on keys.
I have a Big Muff.
Nice.
I have a wah from the 80s. You know, the Morley volume.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tremolo, Dunlop tremolo from, what year is that? 90. I think 91. I think it's my favorite tremolo.
That's cool.
The only thing I have modern, I have two MXRs. I have the analog chorus, which my favorite sound is flanger, but I'm a sucker for chorus. You know, I was gonna get the Eddie Van Halen one, but I liked this one a lot better, surprisingly. And then I have the boost.
Oh, those are cool. I have the MXR carbon copy delay, and I like that a lot.
That's next on my list. My guitar teacher is like, yeah, hey man, you got to get it. Shout out to Seth.
Good. I watched part of your interview with Seth, and I've been following his YouTube channel. It's a really cool series he's got, by the way.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah. Actually, my editor that edits it's editing the recent episode that you're working hard. I love giving him shit, and he ignores me. I've trained him so well.
That's a sign of a good editor.
He's giving me the finger. No, he's not. No, thank you. Yeah, no, he's a cool guy. I worked with him at Guitar Center. That's how I met him. And
okay,
super short story. He would always bring in a guitar, and he had this Ibanez, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's sick. Can I play it? He's like, yeah, play it. So I'd play it, and probably twice a week he'd be like, hey man, you know, I brought another guitar. I'm like, excuse me, and I go play his guitars, and that's how we became friends. And so I'm doing that series with him, which it's fun. There's a lot of info that he gives, you know, and it's very charming. I'm happy you follow it. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I never thought I would ever be in a position to teach music, but aside from doing little 1-hour classes once a week with the entire student body at Inclusion Films, which is 35, 40 students, it's hard to do anything super specific. We usually focus on like composing music for our films or something, but I recently started teaching private drum lessons to 2 different people. So that series has actually been helping me a lot.
That's good. He'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So so you playing drums. We talked about guitar. What other pedals do you have? I'm curious. Are those pretty much it, or?
I'm looking right. It's right over there. I have two distortion pedals, which combined together are heaven. JHS Morning Glory, which is
Okay.
more of a boost. It's not so much of a distortion. And then I have the classic orange Boss DS1.
Dude, I like that pedal. A lot of people give it shit. I'm like, dude, it's a good pedal.
It's a good pedal.
It's a good
It sounds
pedal.
the past couple Instagram videos I've put up with the distorted tone. It's just those two pedals. That's no tube distortion. I'm running into a tube amp, and I'm not even using the tube distortion. That's just those two pedals.
What amp is it?
Fender DeVille.
Oh, nice.
It's way too loud to distort.
Yeah. Yeah. You crank it all the way. You get like this. Well, no. I'm thinking of a different amp. I'm thinking of what's it called? The Blues.
The Blues Junior.
The Blues Junior. Thank you.
I have that too. I have both those amps. That's the Blues Junior right there.
Oh,
That's
son of a
15
bitch.
watt. That thing has a great distortion. And that thing I'm running, I have a Variac, and I'm doing the Eddie Van Halen Brown sound.
Wow.
So I have a Variac, and instead of that amp getting 120 volts, I'm giving it like 65 volts. So it's like super compressed and super fuzzy. And then the DeVille's a really good clean amp, but when you crank it, it sounds good too.
Nice.
That's actually one I've been borrowing from a good friend of mine for 10 years.
You should just buy it. No, don't give it back. They'll never know.
Never know.
Make
I had a
millions
second
off
DeVille
of
at one point, and then I traded it for that Blues Junior.
It's a good amp. But what's you said how many watts is that one?
15.
Okay. Yeah, they're great amps.
I'm running it through a Leslie right below it.
Damn. I see you got other guitars there. I thought it was a table. What do you got over there?
Aside from what I told you about, I've got two Strats. I've got a Gretsch little Gretsch semi hollow body, and I've got a Gretsch bass here. I'll show you. These are the Gretches. This is the only bass I have. It's an amazing bass. It's the only bass I need.
Wow, I've never seen a hollow body bass.
It sounds like an acoustic bass. Every part of any bass guitar you hear on my album is all from this bass. It's the only bass that I've ever recorded with.
Wow.
And then I've got this. This is I got recently at Guitar Center Bakersfield, and it's a Gretsch Streamliner, and it's got a really cool sound. Really articulate, clean sound. If you do both pickups, it's way cleaner than my Les Paul. It's super bright. Almost sounds like an acoustic, but then putting it in the bridge pickup, it's like it sings. I'm floored by how good it sounds. So this is a really cool one. I really like this one.
Do you like using the Bigsby over Whammy?
This is the only one I've ever had with a Bigsby, and I like how it's really subtle. I had a Jazzmaster in the past, and that kind of had more of a Bigsby sound. But I'm a sucker for the Strat trim. I love it. I have both of my... Well, actually, only one of my Strats has a whammy bar. One of them's a hardtail. Let me grab those.
Okay, yeah.
My whammy bar super loose. I love it.
Yeah, wow.
I love Strats. This is a Robert Cray signature model that was actually given to me as a gift, which I'm very grateful for, and it's a hardtail bridge. It's got custom shop pickups from Fender, and it's just bright, surfy. It's everything a Strat's supposed to sound like. Not super hot. It's not good for distortion, but anything clean or crunchy, it's great. It's got a good lacquered neck. Love it. And then
Are you set up to play? Can you play?
I can plug in, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I would love to hear you play right now.
Sure.
Just so you guys know, I'm trying to sweet talk him into playing, to giving me a personal live performance right now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we'll set that up.
Yeah.
This is the last one. This one I kind of customized. This one it's a Squire that I got for $100 on Craigslist in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I completely switched out the electronics for American everything. Seymour Duncan pickups, Fender locking tuners.
Oh wow.
This thing it's heavy. It's a
Really?
1996. It's heavy. It's like heavier than my Les Paul. I don't know what
And,
kind of wood it's made out of. I think it's made out of pine.
and you say that's Chinese?
Korean.
That's Korean. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, Korean.
Nice.
So that's every guitar I have.
They're all Korean?
Okay. Sorry?
Oh, okay, okay. That's all the guitars you have. Okay.
Oh, no. Everything I just showed you is everything I have. No, this one's Korean. This one's made in Mexico.
Okay.
The Telecaster's made in America. The Les Paul's made in America. And the Gretsch is, I think, Indonesia.
I was gonna ask you, the Telecaster, does it have noiseless pickups?
It does not. That's
Doesn't?
the Ultra series. But it's really clean. Of all the single pickup guitars I have, it's the cleanest for sure.
Nice.
I'll plug that one in. Let me just put these back on the rack.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You guys heard it. He's gonna perform live right now. Maybe I'll turn the speaker on so Ludi can hear this. Yes, my editor Ludi is here in the studio. I'm torturing him.
Okay, I'm gonna do a dance right now. I'm gonna see if I can keep
He's,
my
setting
mic
up.
connected.
Wow, that's a cool setup. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spotlight you, and then I'm gonna mute myself. Cause I got a little delay going on. Let's do.
It's okay. Working on all the technical stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Is my sound still coming through on here?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds clean.
All right. So, oh wait, I gotta turn my pedal board on. Last thing. All right. Is that sound coming through?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, he's playing now, Ludi. Dude, when you pulled out the Ebo, I was like, son of a bitch.
It just so happened to be right there.
That is sick, dude. And just so everybody understands, doing what he just did live is not easy. Like, at all.
Yeah, I had to make sure I hit the looper pedal on time.
Wow, that was sick, dude. That was sick. Oh. What is YouTube doing? Oh, yeah, because my video was off. Wow, dude. Dude, you weren't kidding. That sounds clean.
Oh, it's great. The amp is set on like 1.5 right now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Just those two pedals. The JHS goes into the Boss.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite setting is neck pickup, all the tone turned all the way down.
Wow. Wow. That's sick. That's sick. You guys heard it here live. I got him to do it. Yeah.
Didn't think that was gonna happen.
I always try. I try. I've had two. You're the third musician to perform live on this show, and that's awesome. It's really hard. Like, they some people are like, I don't want to do it. I'm happy you did it. I'm happy. That's super cool.
Well,
When's the next album?
Well, it's being mixed right now, and I'm doing a kind of an ambitious video component to it where all right, so when I did Black and White and Baco, I was on this quest to film myself recording every single part, like actually tracking it, and that ended up being a nightmare because I was trying to do a whole song in one take for the sake of the video, so I'm not having like 9 different takes to splice together. And I ended up not maybe doing the best job I could have on some things because I compromised. I was like, well, I don't want to keep filming more. I think I got the best take I can get. And I didn't even end up doing a video for every song. I did that for a couple. All the video content I have from Black and White and Baco, when you see me playing, that's actually me recording it. But I decided not to do that for the next EP. I just recorded it freely, and it ended up just being a much better thing. I could, if you want, I could preview something from it. But I have it. Basically, what I did is it's 4 songs, but it all plays together as one continuous song.
Nice.
It's got like an intro that goes into the first song and then transitions to each after. And I'm gonna film myself playing each part, but it's gonna be an overdub essentially. I'm not actually recording audio when I record it. And what I'm doing is I'm going around to all sorts of places that are significant to me. So every single part I'm gonna record on video, just miming it, but I'll actually have the instrument. I'm gonna actually lug my drums out to the desert and record like the drum video out there. So I'm working on the video part right now, and I'm hoping to have all that done by March. It's being mixed and mastered, or it's being mixed now, and I'll probably have it mastered within 3 weeks or so.
You mean have the video done or the album done?
The album, but I want to release it with the video. So the video will take a little longer. I'm hoping to have that done by March so I can release it kind of all at once.
Nice. Yeah, I'd love a preview. Let me set it up to showcase you. I can shut myself up.
I think I'm disabled to share, but if I can share audio, then I can just
yeah, go for it.
The question for you is track 1, track 2, track 3, or track 4? Which one do you want me to show you?
Let's do track 3.
Track 3, okay. Where is it? I think that's a good choice. Okay, so if I hit that, okay, I'm sharing audio. This is going to be a world premiere right now.
Oh, man, I'm excited.
Let me open it up so I can. Okay, so the thing is, I don't have it all separated by track, so I got to play through it to get to that part.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah. You want to hear this?
All right, so this is a rough mix. This is my own mix. So this is not even the final at all. What's going to be shown to the public. But this is always the drums and the organ recorded at Injuna Recording Studios in Portland, Oregon. and everything else by me. Let me see. Here we go.
Hey, you're doing the drums also, right? You
Yes.
said everything. Okay.
Some carbon copied away.
Hey, you want to hear this? That's a premiere. Like it's not even done.
This song is called Your Corner of the Closet. That's a little bit of a preview there.
That's all you get. He was all like, "Nice." Dude, you know what?
That was
I think okay. Do you like Pink Floyd?
love it. That's a Pink Floyd poster. That's animals right there.
Oh shit, I didn't even see that. Okay. Yeah, because it has
Pigs, dogs, sheep right there.
wow, I wasn't paying attention to that. Wow, I have the wall tattooed on my arm. There's pink.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm all
Yeah.
about Pink Floyd. I'm all about Pink Floyd.
That explains it because like I'm listening to your stuff and I'm like, why has it got this like? And hearing this, it reminds me of Floyd. Yeah, that's awesome. That's
I'm
sick.
a big Floyd fan. I love early Floyd. Yeah, I'm a big Pink Floyd fan.
Yeah, so you like Sid Barrett?
Yeah, first album is really special. Saucer Full of Secrets is really cool. I love Adam Hart Mother. I love Metal. I love Live in Pompeii. All the early stuff.
Nice,
Really
nice.
cool. Obscured by Clouds is one of my favorite albums by them.
Do you like any of
yeah.
Sid Barrett's stuff that he did separately? Like his
I
solo
don't.
stuff?
I actually I haven't gotten into any of his solo stuff
No. I
or anything he did after.
I did get into it recently. I honestly I was ignorant. I had no idea he had a lot of albums he released, and I got curious one day, and I was at Amoeba in San Francisco. I was shooting for a project I'm
Love that
doing.
place.
Yeah, and I walked by. I was like, Sid Barrett, what the hell? And I just bought all his albums.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool stuff. It's very indie film music. If that makes sense.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I like a
dig
lot
it.
of his stuff you can put in an indie film. But dude,
That's
I'm
cool.
that's awesome. What's your favorite song? Or actually, what's your favorite album? You said Obscured.
That's not my favorite album. I don't think that's my favorite album. Obscured by Clouds is a film soundtrack, and it's kind of lighter acoustic stuff, but it's not my favorite. My favorite album is Animals, but my favorite song is probably Echoes.
Wow, my favorite album is Animals. Ironically, I have a lot of people ask me why I have the wall tattooed. I have the wall tattooed because it's more relevant to my life. But my favorite album is Animals, and my favorite song is Dogs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
an
Solo.
amazing song.
Dude, that's Solo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's Solo, yeah.
Sick.
That's Solo.
Have you heard of Which One's Pink?
Yeah, I've always wanted to see him live. Never had the chance to, though.
Dude, I've seen him. I couldn't tell you how many times. And one time I was at the, what was it called? Canyon Club?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I almost got to see him at the Canyon Club ones because they always perform there.
Yeah, that's what it's
They
called.
built one
And-
in Santa Clarita.
Yeah. Did they really? Wow,
They
I didn't
did,
know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I always drove out to, where is it, Agora Hills?
Agora Hills, yeah.
yeah,
There's a second one. It's at the Valencia Mall.
What?
It's like it's where Red Robin used to be.
No
at the
way.
Valencia Mall. Yeah.
Wow.
Swear
I
to
did
God.
not. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Canyon Club. Yeah. It's called the Canyon,
Okay, that makes sense.
but same owner.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw them the last time I saw them. They performed, a mixture of songs, and then they said, "Okay, guys, we're gonna give the opportunity. What album do you want to hear?" And then people were yelling, "Oh, I want to hear this, want to hear that." And I, as loud as I could, I'm like, "Animals, fucking play Animals!" And the dude, the main guitarist that sounds like Roger Waters, looked at me, and I was like, "Animals, come on!" And he's like, "All right, we're gonna do Animals." I was like, "Oh my god!" And they did Animals from
Oh, that's
beginning
awesome.
to end. It was fucking
Wow.
amazing. 3 hours of watching them play. It was.
That's cool. I've always wanted to see them. Their keyboard player drags out a real Hammond organ, just like Rick Wright used to. So I really respect them. They don't cut corners with that
No.
live show.
They don't. They really don't. And they have they have so many musicians just to do. One person's there just to do the whatever they need to do,
The backing vocals, or the sax solo, or Great Gig in the Sky.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love when I saw her do it. It was that same show actually, and they did that before, and she just walks up to the stage, and we're like, "Oh shit, it's her! She's gonna do it!" And she starts belting. I was like, "Wow, yeah, such an experience, man." I hope they play, and I hope you get a chance to see them. Bands I recommend would be them and Spasmatics. I don't know if they're around still.
Oh, the Spasmatics. I've seen them before. I used to go to the concert in the park. I grew up in Santa Clarita, and every summer we would go to the concert in the park series they have at Central Park there. And it's this is probably the first year they haven't done it, but every summer they'll have it was like every Saturday night for 8 weekends in a row. They would bring in all the big cover bands. They had Led Zeppelin do it a bunch of times. The Journey tribute band, the Fab Four Beatles cover. But Spasmatics did that all the time, and that was like a hit. We loved Spasmatics.
Dude, they probably stole the show every time.
Oh, it was like being at Woodstock. They had like, there had to have been like 30,000 people there.
Oh, yeah.
It was because it's completely free, and it's just families set up picnics, and it's huge. It's absolutely gigantic. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I totally believe it, dude. Like I remember, I would go watch him at Canyon Club, ironically, and luckily I would get in before the mob, and I mean I've never seen so many chicks in my life in one place. No, I'm not exaggerating. It's their fan base has got to be probably it's got to be like 80% female. It's incredible.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah, and I love how they get them on stage, and they're like, "Oh, come on up and start dancing." And I love how he has that awkward moment when he's like, he realizes he's surrounded by a bunch of females, and he's like, the singer.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Have you done any live performances?
I've always wanted to. Never have. I really I developed a live music routine right as the pandemic started. Okay, let me take us back. I've played drums live before. I've been a part of a band since high school that I kind of stepped away from a couple years ago, but I was playing with my best friend growing up, Connor, who the amp I have, that's his amp. And he's a guitar player and a singer, and I played drums with him for years. So we would play clubs in Santa Clarita and bars and small shows, but I've never done anything solo. But I have a live routine that I want to start doing more of. I used to do a lot of live things on Facebook that I just have been lazy about, honestly. But I have it set up through MainStage and 2 different audio interfaces where I can loop live drums, as much guitar, bass, clav, organ that I want, and everything can loop independently. I have 10 channels of looping.
Wow.
So, but the only problem is it's a lot of shit to bring anywhere, because I have like separate guitar amps, and I have a Leslie, and the drum set and PA system. It's a lot of stuff.
Jesus. Yeah, that is a lot of stuff by yourself. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it. I like having the pedal board with the looper on it
Mhm.
because I can do like what I just did a couple minutes ago, but um, I can't loop like drums with that. Can't do that kind of thing.
So you do live when you wanted to do your live performance, you want to actually like play the drums, loop it, and then jump on another instrument, loop that, and
Yeah,
jump on another. That's what you wanted to do. Oh my god, I
yeah.
can't for the life of me do that. No, I can't do it. Kudos to you, man.
I enjoy it a lot. Um, it's just it's kind of a temperamental setup because you've got like mics everywhere and everything has to be on time. You have to have a metronome in your ear to do it right. Um, so we'll see what comes of that in the future. Here's the thing, and I'll be brutally honest. I have
Mhm.
absolutely no experience booking shows. I don't know what to even do to get a gig. So that's probably my biggest problem. I also don't know shit about distributing music. So
Oh shit.
uh, I've just kind of like created my music and I've just kind of waited for something to happen, but I haven't done a very good job of marketing myself or promoting my music.
Facebook ads. It actually helps. um,
I gotta get on that.
I will just say this. I don't pay to play. If when once life gets back to somewhat normal, don't pay to play unless you have a crazy following. Um, that's probably the worst thing LA does to musicians is that they make you pay to play. I didn't mind it back in the day because it wasn't too bad, but nowadays is no, you can't do that. Um, I would just get on shows that they need. This is what I did for a while was I would get on shows that they needed an extra, like a band would drop out,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like the call guy. It's like, hey, whenever someone drops, I'll play. I don't care if I'm playing to nobody. I just play. um, that'd be that. One of the things they would say is, which I always hated, was like, if you want to follow me, play at coffee shops. It's like, nah,
Right.
dude, you can't drag all that shit to coffee shops, and I don't want to feel like I don't want to play metal on acoustic.
Yeah, bring a 5150 head to the Starbucks and see what happens. That's the advice I got a lot too, is coffee shops and that sort of a thing. And there's a lot of performers doing that in Bakersfield right now because our sheriff here and the mayor here have essentially defied a lot of the orders, and there's all sorts of inside and outside dining happening out here, and there's people doing little acoustic setups and stuff. And I thought about trying to pursue it, but I'm not going to drag. Even at the bare bones setup I would need to do what I want to do is a mini drum set, a MIDI keyboard, and at least 2 guitar amps. That right there is too much stuff, and a
Yeah,
pedal board, and a guitar, and a bass.
yeah, no. Well, you could always drive up and have it all set up on like one of those. You can drag something like a little stage, and then just pull up, park, just start playing until the cops show up and kick you out.
Let me go rent a float from the Rose Parade. I'll be good.
Yeah, they're not using it.
Yeah, I'll get a couple of my students to drive it down the street, and I'll just be on the back.
Do you
all my
want to?
stuff.
Do you guys want to do a project guerrilla style? You can film it.
Had to go viral on YouTube. Only it was that easy.
Oh man, dude, that'd be yeah. If you play live, dude, I'll come down. Or does it come up? I would come up.
So
and
you live
watch
in San Diego?
I'm in San Diego. Yeah. I
Okay.
finally did the full. I was in LA for many moons, and I did the full transition to San Diego.
How do you like it?
I dig it. I don't want to talk too much shit about LA, but fuck them.
It's
You know, I'm not
There's a
talking
lot
about the
of times that
industry.
I
I'm
don't
talking
mind
about.
Kern County over LA, if that says anything.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of times I don't mind Kern County over LA, so I hear you.
Yeah. There's a lot of great things in LA. I'm not, I'm not bashing LA. I like LA a lot. I mean, I grew up majority of my life in LA, LA area, I should say, and great memories, a lot of great stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's too crowded. Let's just leave it at that. It's too crowded. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people did lose their lives over the pandemic, but still, it's crowded, and there's more sense of community here in San Diego than in LA. In LA, it's mostly cliques, I've noticed, and I'm talking about with people in homes, neighborhoods.
Oh, I grew up Santa Clarita. It was nothing but
Yeah.
the neighborhood I grew up in was basically adult high school drama.
Yes. Yeah. What area did you grow up in?
It's a neighborhood called. I'm not trying to talk shit about any of you listening, but Fair Oaks Ranch neighborhood.
Okay.
It's opposite side of town from Stevenson Ranch, but it's very similar to the Stevenson Ranch community, which is right there by Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Similar, track homes built 1999. I'm very grateful to have grown up where I grew up. I grew up in a great household, my, great friends and everything, but there was some drama that still to this day exists. Still to this day.
Yeah, I lived in Newhall. That's why I worked
Okay.
at Stevenson Ranch. I actually lived right off what exit on the 14? That first Newhall exit. Newhall?
Yeah, Newhall Avenue.
Yeah, Newhall Avenue. Yeah. I
By
like
there's the Polynesian mobile homes right there, and then it goes. My wife lived right up the street from there.
Yeah, I did. You know where the Shell station is?
Yep. Did
I
you
lived
live in the apartments right past that?
Across the street. Yeah.
Oh, across the street. Okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The apartments on the same side, right past the Shell station. That's where my wife lived, and I met her going to high school. Yeah,
That's exactly where I lived. Yeah. So
That's small world.
Yeah. I look, you guys listening, we're not really we're not saying that it's a bad place or anything. It's just, there's some just like in every place, there's some bullshit that happens. Let's just call it for what it is, and you just either deal with it or avoid it or ignore it. But
Got a low crime rate. That's a good thing.
that is true. That is very true. Here's the thing. I loved going to Santa Clarita. I would probably go to Santa Clarita every day, every night. I love driving there at night. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's
Like
easy
the-
to drive at night.
Yeah,
Just don't
the
sleep.
lights and yeah. Well, it's interesting because I lived in San Fernando or Granada Hills area, so the
Okay.
speed limit there is 35. I would always drive 50 anyways. So when I went to Santa Clarita, it's like I'm driving 50 and everyone's passing me. I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna go 70.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Newhall
yeah.
Ranch Road is like a freeway.
It is. It is.
It really is. I
Yeah.
remember when they opened that, that's a great road, especially at night. I love that with all the street lights just as you're
Yeah.
driving down it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's a great place. I loved visiting. I hated living there. I'm not gonna lie. I was there for 3 years, about 3 years, and then I'm down here now. I went from there to Woodland Hills, and now I'm back.
Okay.
Actually, not
Woodland
too
Hills
far.
is nice.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't too far from Joey actually, and
Oh, yeah?
yeah. And then now I'm here in San Diego, 200 miles away from everybody.
San Diego is pretty.
It is.
Yeah, Santa Clarita was a cool place to live. I miss it a lot of the time, but both my parents still live there, and my brother still lives there. All three of my
Yeah.
brothers. I have 3 younger brothers, and they all still live there. So
Yeah. No, it is a cool place. San Diego has its bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, don't kill me. But I hate how people drive out here. I have such road
How
rage.
so?
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
really?
Yeah, let me explain. In LA, they drive like assholes, but
Agreed.
they will drive like assholes. Like, let's say they'll pass you and they'll keep going, right? I've noticed here, I'm gonna get fucking killed for this, but whatever. I noticed here they'll pass you and then they'll start slowing down. It's like, why the fuck did you pass me if you're gonna slow down, dude? That's what I've noticed here. And
It
another
happens in
thing.
Bakersfield.
Does it really? Oh, well, here's the craziest thing, and I thought I was, making this shit up or imagining this, but every single day someone runs a red light. I'm telling you the fucking truth. I was with my friend Pedro, and we were driving. I was at a stop, and I would tell him this. He's like, "Oh, I've seen it a couple times." Ran a red light. I was like, "What did I tell you?" Every time we're together, it's the craziest shit. In LA, I don't see that.
Go have the cameras in the intersections.
Yeah, but they don't enforce that. No, I mean,
no.
yeah, I mean, if you get caught by the camera and you pay the ticket, I feel sorry for you.
This is what pisses me off. I see people just like how you described. Every day, I see people run red lights in Bakersfield, and here everyone drives lifted trucks, so it's like really scary when people run a red light. But there's right around the corner from my house, there's an intersection that has a camera, and I'm pissed because I consider myself a good driver. I test the speed limit every now and again, but I don't run red lights. It's just something that actually freaks me out. But I'm guilty, and my wife can attest to this. I'm guilty of running a yellow,
Yeah.
So one time I got just right as I got in the intersection, it turned red, and I got flashed $600.
No, and you paid it?
I tried fighting it. It was like spend 4 hours at traffic court to maybe get it reduced or go to work. I was so mad.
How long ago was this?
It was within a year and a half.
Oh, okay. I remember that for a long time they weren't enforcing those.
In Los Angeles County they weren't, but in Kern County they've always, as far as I know.
Oh, really?
They actually took out, I remember they installed them years and years ago in Santa Clarita, and then they took them, some of them out when they started to, because technically it's, they can't enforce it if there's not an officer present. It's such bullshit. So there was enough lawsuits that they decided that it wasn't worth settling with people and paying people, so they just took the cameras down in Santa Clarita, from what I remember, but not out here.
Wow. Yeah, I remember they were like, "Don't pay your tickets. They're not enforcing it." I was like, "All right, I just won't get caught."
You see on those TV shows sometimes, you see on cops, they're getting warrants served from an unpaid traffic ticket.
Yeah,
I want to be that guy.
It's crazy. I mean, I've seen, because I like watching like auditors, like First Amendment auditor videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like addicted to that shit. It has a lot of good knowledge. I just don't agree with what some of the auditors do. But anyways, I saw that they served a warrant, or not, what was it called? A bench warrant, and they arrested someone for a bicycle ticket, or was it? Yeah, a bicycle ticket, not wearing a helmet or something like that. And it's like, dude, you're an adult, you don't have to. It's not a law, And they arrested the guy. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. They tackled him and you have a warrant for like $100,000 because it was like years ago or whatever. It wasn't 100,000. It was whatever the amount was. But it's like, really, like, why can't you just tell him like, hey, dude, I don't know if you know this, but you got a warrant. Take care of it. But then again, people won't do the right thing sometimes.
Babylon will always find a way to get you down.
That's true. Man, dude, I'm so happy you did this. This is a great interview. If you do a live performance, let me know and I'll let everybody. People are watching, and when that's posted on all the podcast websites, they're gonna hear this stuff, and I'm telling you guys, like, I'm probably biased because I love music and I love this style of music. It's good stuff, and I'm really thankful that you did this, and I'm happy you did a little live performance. I'm
happy too. That was unexpected, but I'm really grateful to be on here. This was a really, really, really cool first time being a guest on any podcast. I appreciate the opportunity to have a conversation and to be able to promote some of my stuff, and yeah, great conversation.
No, thank you, man. No, hell yeah. I'm happy you said yes. So for you guys listening, all the links are going to be, obviously in the section below, and then same thing you guys watching on YouTube. Once my editor, the hardest working man alive, Ludovico Estrada. I'm talking about you, yeah.
I have mad respect for you.
He has mad respect for you.
Anyone patient enough to edit anything that I'm involved in, I have the utmost amount of respect for.
Dude, I keep this guy busy. Like you have no idea. Like, he's working on, how many projects are you working on right now?
Multiple.
He's working on two animations, a documentary, the Music Teacher's Muse series he does every week, and the podcast. What else are you doing?
I got poster design.
Poster designs. I mean, this guy's
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What kind of animation does he do?
pretty much everything. Like, what do you consider your animation? Let's put you on the spotlight.
Say for example,
Bring him over here. Let me meet him.
He wants to meet you. Come on over.
oh,
Let me turn on
Ludovico,
this.
come on. It's okay if not.
No, he's.
Oh.
This is
What's
Andy.
up?
how you been?
How's it going? All right. So what kind of animation do you do?
Yeah, technically speaking, I'm doing like animation involving logo files. Like say for example, GIF
Oh, cool.
file, and that's just the beginning there.
Very cool. So if I ever wanted an animated logo for anything, I could hire you.
Aye.
All right.
Anytime.
That's really good to know. I'm gonna take you up on that.
He's gonna put your ass to work.
Oh yeah. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
He's always. I have him here at the studio. I have a desk for him here and my sound designer to my right. I normally don't have anyone here. Normally I don't because, sometimes she has to use the bathroom, so she kind of crawls. It's the funniest shit. She crawls on the floor. I'm like, dude, you don't have to crawl on the floor. But any chance I get to pull him into the show, it's awesome.
That's awesome. I gotta know before this is over. I gotta know about TimeEnds Productions, and I gotta know about the project that you have a GoFundMe for. I want to know about all that.
Oh,
Please.
well, TimeEnds Productions, I started in 2012. It started off just a home studio, and I was producing, people's vocals. I would do guitar work, and then I got into behavioral therapy. And throughout behavioral therapy, I would work with like level 4s and 1 through 4s, but mostly level 4s. They always gave me the hard cases, and one time I had this in Santa Clarita. Actually, I had this. I don't want to give too much information away. I had this individual that had deaf parents.
Okay.
And he started having a behavior, started kicking his own ass, and I grabbed my guitar really quick. I had it in the car. We were outside walking. My car was there. It was unlocked. I don't know why it was unlocked. And I just grabbed my guitar and just started playing an acoustic. And then he just stopped and started singing. And then when I stopped, he was like, keep playing. And then I was like, dude, that totally makes fucking sense. So then I started doing music therapy with adults with disability. And
that's so cool.
And then from there, I in LA and Santa Clarita and San Fernando Valley and where else? Downtown LA. Woo, my voice cracked. I would do I would have studios and just do recordings and stuff. And then from there it evolved into I did some wrestling for a while. I would do videos for them and but I always try to keep it as a recording studio. And then now that I'm here in San Diego, actually I have a film company that's being developed because I wanted to separate the two. And the documentary that he's editing right now, it's for a small business in San Diego called Classic Rock Sandwich Shop. And short story was my buddy and I, Pedro, I told him like, dude, I'm craving a sandwich. It's the Guinea in me. I need a sandwich, So I Googled and I saw Classic Rock Sandwich Shop. I was like, let's go check it out. Showed up and the owner, Cheryl, totally cool lady. She just started talking, just started telling us her story, and I was listening. And when we left, we ate the sandwich. I'm not kissing ass. Like, it was amazing. And what's cool is that she would ask you, what do you like? And are you have any allergies? Cool. And then she'll say, you'll like this sandwich. Just try this sandwich. She'll tell you.
That's cool.
She has like 101
Really cool.
sandwiches to pick from. So it's hard to pick, you know. So then I looked at Pedro and I was like, I want to film a documentary on this. And he's like, why? Because of her story, you know. So I asked her, I was like, hey, are you interested? And she's like, fuck yeah. So we raised, you know, we're trying to raise the funds to pay, you know, these guys. Now at this point, it's more like reimbursements, but you know, he's editing, and Marissa's doing sound design as well. And you know, they're graduates as well. You know, they're contractors with me because you know that's what I do. You know, we do small projects, and we're actually going to be doing we're doing you know, like the homeless film as well, and we're doing another project which is a recent graduate from the program. She pitched her story to me, and I read it. And I was like, let's do it. But we're going to, you know, she's assembling everybody, and she's going to do the same thing as well, and you know, try to raise funds to film it. So I'm going to help her do that. But that's
Awesome.
That's what we do here. That's what I do.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm the liaison between them and projects. On
That's
top
what
of the
it's all about.
podcast. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
I've found myself on side projects that I take on outside of working at Inclusion Films. I kind of have a short list of people that I'll regularly refer or hire on my projects. And so when I saw you doing that, it was like really inspiring because it's something I've always wanted to do more of. And you know, being a part of the program for over 7 years, it's something I really believe in terms of getting, you know, these people that wouldn't necessarily get an opportunity to work on a crew, letting them really shine. And they always exceed my expectations, like I said earlier, but it's really, really cool to see someone else doing that too, because I have the utmost respect for that. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, I you know, like Ludi here, the hardest working man. I'm not kidding. He's the hardest working man in the industry for San Diego. I always throw projects at him. Like, what's the recent thing I said? I said, hey man, I need a JPEG of the new company logo, and he's like, all right, yeah, when? Now. But he did it, and he's like, here you go. He sent it to me. I'm like, cool.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
You know, so like I'm gonna
Very
airdrop
cool.
him the podcast, and he's gonna edit it, and he's gonna shoot me an email. And he gets paid. I'm going bankrupt because of this guy. You're sending me to the poorhouse.
Well, he's getting rich.
You're getting rich. I'm getting poor. Yeah, but yeah, that's you know, that's what we want to do, and I wanted to do more projects since I'm now in San Diego and I'm doing this whole film thing because you know my whole thing is sound designing and music and you know doing ADR and Foley and all that shit. I want to do more not films, but more documentaries for like the businesses in San Diego. And you know, the first one we're gonna do is this place, which is totally relevant because it's music related.
Yeah, totally.
It's really cool. Like he's working on that on top of the other projects, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. So when we have it done, I'll send it to you so you can check it out.
Please, yeah. Next time I'm in the San Diego area, I'll meet you there and we'll have lunch.
Hell yeah, you can come to the studio and we can jam.
Totally,
It'd be awesome.
Let's make
Fuck
it happen.
Yeah, I have a drum set and everything. I mean, I'm no drummer. I mean, I pretend to play drums. So.
I love drums. Drums was my favorite instrument for so long, and then I got into vintage keyboards. Then I got back into guitar, but drums is like my main. I love drums.
You know, we actually totally bypassed that. Oh, fuck, I don't know why that happened. Tell me about the drums.
Right. Well, I got an electric kit when I first started. I played in the talent show. I had a best friend through elementary school named Adam, and we're still in contact to this day. And he like opened my world because he taught me what Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath are. So anyone that teaches you that when you're like 10, 11 years old is like a gift from God.
Oh yeah.
So we started jamming together. This kid at that age, we were in the same grade. He could shred. I remember we played Highway Star. He could do the solo like perfectly on it. He had a mini Strat, like a miniature Stratocaster, and he could It was fucking crazy. We played Wicked Woman and Heartbreaker at the
Wow.
talent show when we were in fifth grade, and I had a
With the
little
mini
electric
strat.
kit. And then the next year for sixth grade, I got my acoustic kit. So I guess that's 25 years I've been playing, or 15 years. Sorry, 15 years I've been playing drums.
Wow. Wow. What kit do you have right now?
I have a little bit of my original kit. I have a rack tom from it still, but it's a Gretsch kit. Here, I'll spin it around. It's
Okay.
got a cool history to it. Let me show you, and then I'll tell you about it.
All right. Sounds good. I'm actually gonna pin you, so.
It's a good one.
Wow.
So there's a band that I'm a big fan of who I'm in contact with some of the members of. They're a band called Visa. They're based out of Los Angeles. They're not performing actively right now, but they've been around for years and years. And this is the drum kit from the drummer of that band, who I bought it off of him directly, and it's been used in a bunch of their recordings and live performances. It's been on stage at the Troubadour a bunch of times and the Roxy, and cool places, just great places for a drum set to have lived its life. And it's been on stage with Serge Tankian from System of a Down. It's been in all sorts of music videos. So I got it for $600.
Wow. Really? Yeah. Wow. No way.
It's
wow.
a great.
That's a steal.
Kit. I don't know what year it's from, but it's a Gretsch Catalina Club.
Damn. That's a steal.
Yeah. It's a great kit. It's powerful, and it. If you listen to the music that was recorded with it before I got it, it's like they're an Armenian rock band, and it's pretty heavy stuff. You'd probably really dig it. It's amazing music. 9 albums out.
What are they called?
And all their albums, they're called Visa, Viza. Check them out.
I am. I totally will.
Super powerful music, energetic, great message. I'm a fan. This was used on most of their records. This drum kit here.
And you said that they had it on the what's the story with Serge?
He produced a couple of the records, and he as a guest vocalist on one of their songs, and they were performing at the Troubadour, and they got him. He was like a secret guest, and he showed up to do that song. So there's a video on YouTube that shows him singing, like standing like in front of the kick drum. It's cool to see, because I'm a System of a Down fan, so I thought that was pretty sick.
You want to hear a story?
Yeah.
God, I don't really recall how old I was. But I have, growing up, I have some friends, they're Armenian, and I went to their house.
Los Angeles.
yeah, and I went to their house, and they told me, they said, "Hey, my cousins are here," and I was like, "Okay, you kind of see where I'm getting at." And I said, "Okay, cool. I gotta go." It's like, "You sure you don't want to meet my cousins? I mean, they're in a band." I was like, "Yeah, I can say hi really quick." And I just looked in the room like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they said, "Hey, dude, he had the fro. Like, that's how long ago it was." And
shit.
And then I was like, "All right, we gotta go," because I was in a hurry, because I don't know why. I was doing a gig or something, and I don't know if it was in the car. It was either in the car or at the whiskey. Yeah, I remember now. I was doing a gig at the whiskey, and it was in the car, and my friend was like, "You're a fucking dumbass." You know that? It's like, you're a dumb. I'm like, "Why? Did you not recognize who was in the room?" No, I just said hi to the family members. It's like,
wow.
You didn't recognize the guy with the fro and the bald dude with the long beard? No. It's like, dude, that was System of a Down. And I turned, I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." It's like, call your, I don't want to say his name. It's like, call your friend. And I text him. I was like, "Hey, my buddy just told me that." He's like, "Yeah, it's them. They're here. We're smoking and drinking." And all right, I got to go play.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That's pretty funny.
Punch in the face. Yeah. That was
Well, I mean, that's not funny, but it's like it's pretty crazy that happened.
yeah, and it. I mean, obviously I regret it because I could have taken pictures and hey, but I'm also not that kind of guy. I don't get starstruck, unless you're Tom Waits. If you're Tom Waits, I'm gonna be like, dude, give me a hug and lie to me, But
Yeah.
yeah, I love that guy, dude. I'm gonna cry when he dies. But yeah, I don't get starstruck. So if they if I would have like, oh yeah, how's it going? Yeah, I wouldn't be like, hey, can we take pictures? Like I don't really do that. But I did feel like an idiot because if I would have, and that's something I learned, and because of that experience, I learned, just because you're in a hurry doesn't mean you can't do something really fast to, you never know. That could have been a connection or, that could have saved someone's life, whatever the
Totally.
situation is,
I'm
But-
always living life thinking that sort of a thing. If I just don't do that this exact second, or if I do that, it's going to prevent this from happening. I'm always thinking about life. That way.
Exactly. What if I would have went in there and shook their hands? Would have saved like someone's baby from being burned. And, like just crazy shit like that. And I think of that shit too. Like, but yeah, that's my system story. Yeah.
That's a good story. That's a great story.
Yeah, punch in the face. If you're listening, I don't know if you remember. It's been many, many years. How old was I? It was right after high school. It was during high school. I think it was during high school,
The
actually.
Fro days were.
Yeah.
He cut his hair by the time they did their double album in 2005. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it
probably
was
would have
definitely.
been 2004 or earlier.
Yeah, it was
Right.
definitely. I think it was like 2001 because I was in New York in 2002. So this happened before that. So it was like 2000, 2001 for sure.
It's a good
Yeah.
era for them.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, dude, thank you for doing this again. Yeah, if you guys are listening or watching YouTube channels, check out the music, and when he has the next album, we'll definitely let you guys know. Dude, I'd love to have you back on when you release the next album. You said by March you're thinking of doing this?
Yeah, maybe sooner. I don't know. I'm honestly here's the thing that I'm waiting on. I'm being very patient. If Slater is listening to this or if he
Slater.
listens in the future, get the compressor. He's waiting on a piece of outboard gear that he really wants to use to mix my album. And it's from VK, I think. It's a compressor. This guy, you got to see. Hang on, I got to show you this really quickly before I get
Yeah.
off. This
Can you
studio,
share?
This,
Can you
he
still share?
deserves
Yeah, you can.
a shout out.
Let's see it.
It's a freaking pristine studio. Where's I have a whole folder. Hang on one second. I just got to show you really quickly because it's like eye candy just to see this place. To be able to here we go. To be able to photograph this was really cool.
And you took the pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it? It's hang on. It's trying to pull up the the raw ones. I don't want to pull up a bunch of raw photos. Sorry, I feel like I should have this prepared.
No, it's okay. I love on the spot stuff. It keeps it organic. Doesn't seem scripted.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to Instagram on the website, and it's on there.
And
But yeah, so he's just waiting on a piece of gear, then he's gonna get started with it, and he's a pretty. I don't want to say he works fast because he takes his time, but he's very efficient. So I shouldn't have to wait too much longer. But here, let me screen share.
Hurry up, Slater.
All right, Slater, this is your studio on Instagram.
Oh my god.
So look at all this shit. It's for days. It's amazing. So he can take all the stems I sent him and he can run them through these compressors and preamps. And
Yeah.
he got a Space Echo, but I took like this. That's his tracking room.
Wow.
That's set up for a session recently. That's his live room. He's got but like you got to just see the woodwork and the way that this place was designed it's like being in an art gallery.
That was all custom?
Yeah, it's all custom. The guy who designed it's in West Show, and he's done like major studios all over the world.
Yeah, that totally looks custom. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
really awesome, but it's groovy. He's got the lighting system. I picked the colors for the photos, but these colors up in the ceiling, all
Mhm.
this, every single light bulb can be whatever color you want. So you can make it like all red if you want.
That's
It
sick.
yeah. So it does something to you like emotionally, and it really gives you a a creative mindset to work there. So I'm grateful to have been able to work in there. So shout out to you, Slater. If you guys are ever in Portland, Oregon, that is the place to go for sure.
Get it done, dude. We
But
want
I
to
can
hear the album.
attest, it's a long ass drive.
If I'm ever out there, I might be out there actually. I'm doing this this project that you know about the homeless project, and I'm just traveling everywhere. I mean, right now I'm just in California, but I'm going to Chico. I'm planning on going to Chico probably maybe the second week of February. I got some leads out there, and hopefully I don't get my ass kicked and robbed. But you know.
Chico's pretty far away. It's only halfway to Portland.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I might as well just make it a whole trip and
Have you
drive up
done
there.
anything, or do you have anything planned to shoot in Stockton or any of that area?
No, I don't.
Oh man, I did a project with Joey actually maybe 4 years ago, and we went and we interviewed some people at the homeless shelter that's in Stockton.
Mhm.
And he has some donations of Christmas presents. He was able to give some families gifts for Christmas. It was a really cool thing. But seeing outside of that homeless, I'm not trying to talk shit or anything because I respect this a lot, but it's very sad to see outside of the homeless center there is worse than Skid Row. It's like a half-mile block that circles around leading up to the center, and it's like a town. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
It's unlike anything I've ever seen in Bakersfield, which has a pretty bad homeless problem in and of itself, but Stockton is unbelievable. So any sort of outreach you're trying to do or any content or subjects, there's a lot going on down there. I hate to say it, but
It's a reality. I mean,
Mhm.
you can't. I mean, I don't blame you for feeling that way, but like, I mean, like I went to Cisco pretty recent,
Mhm.
and
Recently it's
dude, like it's fucked up, you know. And I'm
2
actually
years ago, and it was crazy. I don't know if it's gotten worse.
no, it definitely has. And Modesto's bad.
Oh, really?
It is
Well,
really,
Modesto's not
really
too far
bad.
from Stockton.
No, it's not. It's not. It's like what, like half? No, because it's an hour from Cisco. Well, where I was at, it's an hour from Cisco, so it's probably like what, another. How far is it? Let's see.
I was in Lodi once, which is next to Stockton. And I bought a bong, and the person told me that it was made by a local glassmaker in Modesto. So I guess that's still considered in that same area.
Might be. It might be like. Let's see. Come on, Google. Okay, so here's Stockton. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see. It's going the other way. So it's like an hour.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's like 45 minutes. It doesn't seem that far from Modesto. But then again, depending on where it was, because I went to Rasputin, so I don't know if you know the area.
I don't.
Yeah, dude, shitty experience. Fuck that place. Like, I'm kidding. No, it's a great place. I just wasn't happy with my experience there with one of the workers.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, when I went up there, I went to spend money, and unfortunately, it didn't pan out too well. So I ended up just walking out of the store. Yeah, bad customer service. But dude, thanks for the
Deal
lead.
breaker.
I'm actually planning on going to film in Bakersfield. I just got to figure out my dates because of my leads. Bakersfield. I have Bakersfield, Riverside, Oxnard.
Oh yeah.
What's the other one? Yeah, I got a lot of cities I gotta go shoot at, and yeah, if I'm in Bakersfield, I'll hit you up, dude.
Let me know if you need any help with that, and if you need any crew, I've got a whole school worth of people ready to work. So
Well, if my producer is listening, which I know she is, you just told her, so she'll probably tell you, hey, I need a crew.
I got a lot of recommendations.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, again, dude, thanks for doing this. For you guys, all the info's down in the subscriptions, all that stuff. Check out the album. Buy the fucking album. Just buy it. Support your musicians. And yeah, what other platforms are you on? Really quick. So you're on YouTube. You're on. Are you on Spotify?
Yeah, I released my album through CD Baby, and they do the thing where it's like TuneCore or DistroKid. It's you get it on all the major platforms. So as far as I know, it's Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Deezer, which I don't know what the hell that is. Tidal, I don't know what that is either. Like Last FM, Pandora, it's on all of them. But Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. Oh, and Amazon Music.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
So look it up, Andy Ryan, and album is called Black and White and Bako, Bako.
And the EP coming up is going to be called Sleepless Part 1.
Nice. I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited. All right, well, thanks for doing this, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me. Take care.